Lesson 11.4, Geometric Series. I want to start by giving you two formulas. The old one, which is a sub n equals a sub 1 r to the n minus 1. That was used for a geometric sequence. The new one for this one, for series, is the sum of n terms. You have a sub 1 minus a sub 1 r to the nth power all over 1 minus r. Or, this is the same equation, just written in a different way. They have a sub 1 factored out. That's r to the n power over 1 minus r. With one notation that r cannot equal 1, so it's not undefined. Now with that information, we can do our first question, which is find the sum of n terms, where you know the first one is 2, r is 2, and there's 15 terms. So we would take s sub 15, and again I'm going to choose to use, again it's your choice, I'm going to use this one for the first example. And that would be, first term is 2 minus the first term times the r, which is 2, to the n power, which is 15, divided by 1 minus your r, which is 2. This would give us 2 minus 65,536 divided by negative 1, which would in turn give us 65,534. That is the sum of those of 15 terms with those properties. Next question, and for this one I use the same formula. When it's given, and this is n equals 1 up to 12. This is a 12 up here. In this form, if you notice, it's written in a certain form that can help us do a shortcut with this one. And that form is the form that I reminded you of right here. And it is, in that form, it tells you what the first term is and what r is in the way it's written. So this term right here, the 3, represents a sub 1. And this term here represents the r. So we know that r is 2 and a sub 1 is 3. If you didn't know that by noticing that, making that observation, you could easily still find the first term by plugging in a 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0, 2 to the 0 power is 1, and you get 3. To find r, all you need is the next term. So if we plugged in a 2, we get 2 minus 1, which is 1 power, 2 to the 1 power, which is 2, and then we get 6. So 6 divided by 3, that's all we need is 2 sequential numbers in our sequence, and then that gives us our r, and that would be 2. 6 divided by 3 is 2. With that information then, we can go s sub, well, if you start at 1 and go to 12, there are 12 terms. Our first term we found is 3, minus 3, again our first term, r is 2, and there are 12 terms like we mentioned, all over 1 minus r again. That will give us negative 12,285 all over negative 1, which again is just 12,285. Alternate formula. Okay, well here's one other formula, and you'll use this one in certain situations. And this is a sub 1 minus a sub n instead, times r, all over 1 minus r. So the difference is there's no a sub 1 in this position. It's now a sub n, and there's no power for r. There used to be r to the n. And you'll use this when you don't know n. All right, so if you don't know n, you'll use this one. All right, so find the sum of a geometric series in which you know a sub 1, a sub n, and r. If you plug that in, we get s sub n equals a sub 1 minus a sub n times r all over 1 minus r. And that will give us 7777 over 1 1/6, because negative 6 times a negative 1/6 is positive 1. That's all we've got, 7777. And that will give us 6,666. Find a sub 1 in a geometric series in which you know s sub 8 and r. And you want to know the first term. Well, in this case, since we haven't used it yet, let's use the other equation that we had up above. This one right here. Because a sub 1 is, there's just one of them there, so a little bit less algebra to worry about. So we know we're going to use s sub n equals 1 minus r to the n. Oops, excuse me. Take care of that. I got my formula wrong. Hang on. It's going to be a sub 1 and then 1 minus r to the n all over 1 minus r. Well, we have s sub 8. So let's go down here and say s sub 8 equals a sub 1, 1 minus r, which is 2, and since it's s sub 8, that makes the n an 8. All over 1 minus r. Now we have two variables here, however, so I'm going to change this right now. Instead of saying s sub 8, I'm going to put in what s sub 8 is equal to, which is 765. Now we have one variable. This will give us 765 equals, and this is a sub 1, excuse me, a sub 1 times, and 1 minus 2 to the 8th is negative 255. Again, we have to take 2 to the 8th first. We divide by negative 1. So to solve this, multiply both sides by negative 1. We get negative 765 equals a sub 1 times negative 255. Divide by negative 255. And a sub 1 will give us 3, which is our first term. This ends lesson 11.4.